There's nothing more terrifying than the Kirby series. While the appearance looks like a child-friendly game for everyone, the actual lore behind most games reflects the polar opposite. Just look at Kirby himself, who kills everyone on his way, even though most of the enemies just mind their own business and end up in the black void of pink eternity. Or the final boss of Kirby's Dream Land 3, a child-friendly game for everyone. It's for this reason why most of the opponents Kirby faced during all the games should be rather successful when hunting for candies during Halloween, right? So let's find out which Kirby enemy would get the most sweets. Before we start, we need to narrow down the possible candidates since the franchise features way more enemy types than your usual platformer. Of course, their design has to be fairly spooky, and while this applies to a good amount of foes as well, let's go even one step further. Besides looking creepy, they also have to wear some sort of clothing, something similar to a costume you would wear during Trick or Treat. With this said and done, why don't we take a look who will bring home the most candy. Gabon debuted in Kirby's Dream Land 3 and since then appeared in 64, Planet Robobot, Star Allies and the upcoming Forgotten Land as well. Although he grants no copy ability, he attacks by tossing bones at Kirby and flees the second he loses his skull. Behind his little masks hides a rather cute looking creature who starts to flee the second Kirby destroys his cap. Just by the definition of a child who is hunting for sweets, Gabon fits perfectly in that picture. He tries to match Halloween by putting on a skull and seems to have the talent to precisely throw objects at certain points, so whenever someone shuts down the door before his eyes, he would absolutely start to throw some eggs or whatever comes to his mind. But don't get distracted by his behavior and remember the coward attitude as soon as he senses danger. The moment someone catches him and removes his costume, Gabon will take his little feet in his non-existing hands and run away. He's just the right childlike enemy who would surely go for trick and treat, and with his rather cute appearance, he wouldn't get a ton of candies but surely a respectable amount. Let's head over to a more unknown enemy, Mambin. Showing up in Mass Attack for the first and only time, this foe is a variation of a regular bean bin and is entirely wrapped in white bandages, giving it the appearance of a mummified bean bin. This of course is just natural fitting, since it seems like the perfect Halloween mummy costume. Although being rather weak, a Mambin has the ability to shoot a purple slime, so if you dare to not give this little guy some candy, he will be the type of character to place some raw eggs or self-made slime into your mailbox. And if this still isn't enough, sometimes you can even encounter one of their older brother or parents in form of a big Mambin. They will stand at your door with their children, ensuring that you will absolutely put some candies in their bags. The only item you should never hand out is any variation of a lollipop, since it seems like they will show an allergic reaction. So despite looking harmless alone, they have some tricks in their sleeves to make up for their shortcomings, and with the help of some slime and family members, they should return home with really respectable loot. Don't you ever open the door when someone like Highness is knocking. Initially he will appear covered in a mysterious clothing, but as soon as you refuse to hand out candy, he will escalate and show his true face. At first glance you will think it's another mess, but when you start to question even his real visage, it's over. While Gabons or Mambins do quite harmless pranks in comparison, Highness will have no shame to go for your throat and take a plain fun day like Halloween way too serious. And you have to consider that he will never be alone. His 3 fangirls, the magical sisters, are the type of persons who will not dress up for the occasion and just stand aside with no intention of getting any sweets. You could assume they would intervene as soon as Highness loses his composure, but it's quite the opposite. They fully support his tantrum and start to pierce your car tires to maximize the damage. Damn, this description escalated quickly. So while it seems like he would be the kind of guy to get tons of candy, he's already known in the neighborhood for his special behavior and has in this case a really hard time to get something. But don't worry, Partisan always makes some provisions in advance and buys a lot of candies in advance to still have a good time with their role model and sisters. The probably most unknown Kirby enemy, Gryll, is a witch-like creature which is optically a natural fit for Halloween. With her head and the striking broom, she travels across the universe to challenge Planet Pop's most skilled star stacker, Kirby. Correspondingly, her competitive nature would, as expected, lead to a desire to get the most candies. There's nothing particularly scary or intimidating to her, since she carries no ill intentions whenever she challenges someone, so even if anyone closes the door before her eyes, Gryll just shrugs it off and doesn't play plan any pranks. To be precise, it's not really trick or treat, but treat or get screwed. Although there's no particular reason for her to get a lot of sweets, it's the pureness behind her appearance that would give her a great benefit. No tricks, no menace or whatever, just a simple looking costume with a heart as iron will to be the best. As I mentioned, there are countless more enemies to choose from, but whether it's one of these who will knock on your door or actual children, make sure to give them tasty candy and enjoy a spooky Halloween. Jesus, the suckers are already here.